Hey everybody, welcome to the Players Take Reflections number 2. I'm your host Justin DeSimone, joined by my co-host Montrell Rice. For those of you who haven't listened before, the Players Take is our weekly show where we talk about video games, video game news, and other topics pertaining to video games. We post at 6 a.m. Central Time on Fridays on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and your favorite podcast app of choice. You heard me right at the top. This is Reflections number 2. So this is our show. This is kind of our side version of the show where we talk about topics not necessarily pertaining to the weekly news. As we said on the episode a couple weeks ago, Montrell and I are not able to record for a couple weeks. So you're going to get one of these for 2 weeks in a row. So this is the first one. And then there will be another one next week. So this week, we decided that we're going to go through, because we've been talking about this a lot since E3, that there are a lot of games coming out between now and next May that we both are excited about. And I have a list. We both have made a list before we started recording. I have 19 games on my list and then 4 honorable mentions. I don't know how many you have, Montrell, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty close to the same amount. So we're going to go through, briefly touch on each one, why we're excited about it, kind of how we're feeling about the game based off of the press and the trailers that have been released. So why don't we get started with one that is coming out the week this episode goes live, Fire Emblem 3 Houses. So how are you feeling about this game as we get closer?
I've actually been in the dark about this game.
Same here, because Nintendo is doing a lot of press on this game right now.
Yeah.
Like, dude, if you want to find out about how this game plays, there's plenty of videos out there for you. Like,
I actually haven't looked at any of it.
Me either.
For a lot of reasons, I don't want to overhype myself, and then I don't want to dehype myself. I just want to go into it like raw.
I want to go into it raw, blind, and really give the game a chance with no expectations, right? Like, because you know, we've talked about I've had a lot of trepidation with this game because I don't trust IS right now.
Yeah.
So I really want to give them a chance to prove me wrong with this game, and I don't want to have expectations, like you said, and then I don't want to have expectations and then be really surprised in a bad way by things that they haven't talked about when the game comes out.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what they've talked about. I know they've detailed some gameplay systems, talked about characters and some of the story and stuff, but I don't really know any of it. So
I think I might dive into it because if it has the same mechanic for like mates and stuff like that,
I think it does.
Which I really hate. I really hate that they introduced.
Because there's a time skip in the game, just like some of the past 2 games.
Okay.
There's another. Well, Fates didn't have a time skip. It had a weird plot device.
Yeah.
That made the kids possible. And it was dumb. It derailed the whole game in terms of the story. But this one does have a time skip. There's going to be like a 5-year jump. There's going to be like an early part of the game, and then there's a second act that takes place 5 years later. That's true of all 3 paths you take. So I think the kids will be probably in that, as they were in Awakening, because there was a time skip in Awakening too, which explained the kids in that game. So I don't love the mechanic, but I'm gonna give him, as I said, I'm giving him a shot. This is a clean slate for me. I'm giving him a chance. This game looks like it's gonna be really large.
I don't know, man. Like when I played Blazing Sword, I was just so enthralled by. First of all, I went to that game blind, like Blazing Sword. Only reason I played Fire Emblem is because I played with Roy and Marth on Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Yeah.
So when I found that game, I'm like, oh, it's strategy. But then I played it, and I'm like, holy shit, this game's really cool.
That game has a really good start for somebody who's new to the series, too, because you get introduced to somebody who is not, like, Lindis is the character you get introduced to early in that game, and she is basically like a Blade Master, like, really quick character that doesn't have a lot of defense, but, you know, is fast kind of character. And she's the Lord you get at the beginning of that game, and they give you a lot of tutorials early on in that game, kind of explaining the way the game works. So that was a really good game to introduce American audiences to, I felt like. And I don't know, I really do feel like you need to play the GameCube one and the Wii one.
Yeah.
I think those are both you should try, because they're much they're like extensions of Blazing Sword. Like they're that same gameplay, but they have more systems in there. That makes the game a little deeper than Blazing Sword was. So I really give that a chance.
Okay.
Some of the more recent ones have gotten weird, and I don't know. Like, of the stuff that I've watched of this game, I do feel like it is more in line with some of the older Fire Emblems. It's still going to have some new stuff in it, but I think they're paring back some of the things that have given the players a little bit too much power.
Yeah, because I didn't really like the grouping or the pairing mechanic in Awakening.
They're changing it. I don't know how they're changing it, but it sounds like they did change it again for this game. And they changed it for Fates, too. They made it much less effective in Fates.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. Yeah. It was less overpowered.
It was still really useful than Fates, though. Yeah. Like, to a degree where you kind of needed to use it sometimes.
Okay.
So I'm kind of hoping that they take it a little bit further back, even more than that, because what they did in Fates too, they made it so that the enemies can use it, and enemies will be spawned where they're paired up. So when an enemy is paired up on a single space together, what happens is you're not able to use an ally support to get an extra hit in, but they're not as well, like the person that has that unit stacked on top of each other, but it gives you extra defensive bonuses and some bonus stats.
Okay.
So it's like kind of like a hyper defensive unit. Makes it harder to kill them, you know.
Gotcha.
So I don't know. We'll see. This game is imminent. I mean, we're not very far away from it. I'm planning to dive into it pretty quickly once it comes out. So I'm looking forward to it, but we'll see. IS has a lot to prove to me. Honestly, this game needs to have a good story too, because the last two have had really bad stories.
That was a bad driving force behind Awakening for me too. I really didn't like Crom as a main character or one of the primary lords, and then when Lucia got revealed, I was just like, okay.
The story was really not fleshed out either.
It wasn't.
Like, dude, because the Tellius games, which are the ones on GameCube and Wii, those games had serious exposition in them. Like, there were periods between battles where you would have 15 minutes of exposition, you know, where they're explaining the state of the world and things that have happened and events that are happening kind of away from your party and stuff like that. And it was really great. It was really well told, and it fleshed the lore out and the story out in a way that was really satisfying. So they haven't done that with the last two games. Awakening in particular, I think, was really bad. Where
it felt like an anime adventure.
Almost, where it was like you're almost watching like a summary of events rather than the actual events themselves. Because I felt like the battles, you'd show up, your characters would say like 3 or 4 lines of dialogue, and then the enemies would say 3 or 4 lines of dialogue, and bam, you're in the battle. It's like there wasn't really much exposition between battles, and the story just didn't have impact because of it, you know? So, looking forward to that game. I know it keeps sounding negative about it, but
I am looking forward to it.
I love Fire Emblem, okay?
I am looking forward to it, so...
Alright, let's move on to our next one. Next one for me is WoW Classic.
You not excited about Control, man?
No. I don't even know what that is. What the hell is that?
I don't know. Some third-person shooter where you can control time and manipulate the space around you and stuff like that.
Give me some World of Warcraft.
Everyone's excited about this game. Like, everyone's, like, legitimately excited about this game.
Pass. Sounds like a gimmick.
It looks like... It reminds me of... it's from the same makers of Quantum Break.
Is this game on your list?
No, it's not.
Okay.
I just want to talk about it.
Why are we talking about this? God damn it. We got 18 more games to get through.
All right, WoW Classic, let's go.
Yeah, World of Warcraft Classic. All right. I mean, this is starting to ramp up now, man. The excitement is building. Our friends at work keep talking about this game. They're how excited they are about it.
I didn't know so many people at work played this game.
Dude, we're going to have a huge group playing with us. And that is what is exciting about this, is that I'm going to have a bunch of people to play with, which I did not back when I was younger.
I only had one person play with me.
Same. I had one friend. Him and I were fucking obsessed with World of Warcraft, and we did tons of crazy shit together, and it was super fun. But experiencing this with a large group of people is going to be even more fun, hopefully. So, I mean, we're playing on a PvP server.
Which I know you're not excited about.
It's alright.
So
I'll make solo characters on a PvE server.
Yeah, man, you and Brian can do solo
man. Me and Brian are going to go dominate. Okay?
I'm very excited about this game.
Because you never played...
I never played WoW Classic
very much.
I came in on Burning Crusade.
Word. Yeah, it's very different from Burning Crusade. Like, there's a lot of similarities, but... They made some very distinct changes with Burning Crusade that it's going to be obvious to you quickly how the game feels different. Classes in particular, their roles within groups is very different from how it was in Burning Crusade.
Well, that's the thing. The class that I played in Burning Crusade, I was a paladin, off-tank paladin, and I'm not being an off-tank at all. I'm going to be...
can't.
Yeah, I can't.
You literally, the only role paladins have in endgame is healing. So if you don't want to be a healer, don't be a paladin.
All right. Well, I'm not. I'm being a hunter, so I'm being DPS.
There you go.
So
yeah.
I want to do something completely different.
Yeah.
So I am interested in it. I'm not interested. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to contain my hype levels.
Well, it's kind of cool because this is going to be kind of new for you, like fresh. Like for me, I've been there, done that for the most part. But I love the game, and hopefully playing with you guys will keep me interested. But even so, it's so good.
It's just fun to play an MMO with a group of people. The last MMO I did that with was Final Fantasy 14, and I tried to go back into it again, but I realized the reason I loved it so much was because I had a group of like 5 people playing with me. Mm-hmm. So it's just really fun to go back into an MMO with a group of people that you personally know or that you see all the time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I see a lot of people and then I put that on my Twitter too, and a lot of people were like, "Yeah, I play WoW. I used to play WoW all the time." I'm like, "Oh shit, you did too? Like, that's cool." It's like I just didn't know a lot of people play.
Like, you could talk to. I feel like 50% of the people you talk to probably played World of Warcraft at some point in time in their lives.
I mean, the way people talk, the way people tweet and talk and everything. Some people seem like they just never would touch WoW because it was such a deep mechanical game. Well. To a certain extent,
it's really not that deep. That's the funny part about it is, like, I think people look at it that way, but it's really not that complicated.
Oh, that's why I was going to do my statement. Like, it's not that deep, but it is deep enough where you can.
No, I know what you mean, though.
Yeah. So I don't know. But I feel like
it's involved. Is what I'll say. It's very involved. The game. It's not something that like is hard to figure out.
Yeah.
It's just that you have to put a lot of effort.
Exactly.
Into it,
that's a great way to phrase it.
So.
I feel like a lot of people, though, are still going to be on the Final Fantasy 14 tip. But I think they may see a dip in numbers Final Fantasy 14 when this game comes out. Because I knew a lot of vets who did play WoW. They went over to Final Fantasy 14. They loved it. Yeah,
because Final Fantasy 14 is kind of an extension of what World of Warcraft was back in the day. And what made it fun. And that's why that MMO is good.
Yeah.
And this latest expansion came out, Shadowbringers, and all I'm hearing is positivity about this.
Yeah.
Like people are saying this is the best MMO expansion that's like ever happened. Like that's how high people are about this. It looks very
like not only that, but the cinematics look really good.
Dude, I am genuinely interested in going back to Final Fantasy.
I heard you
14.
and Jet talking about it. I was on the phone though, client, but yeah, I heard you and Jet talking about maybe diving back into it, and I'm like, hey, I'd do that shit.
Yeah,
I just don't feel like paying for the expansion.
No, see, that's the problem. I don't want to pay for the expansion, and I don't want to pay monthly, and I really just kind of want to play it by myself.
Yeah,
because the game is really designed for you to play solo, and this new expansion makes it even more so because there's this new system in the game. It's called the Trust System, I think, where you can play dungeons with NPCs rather than players.
Whoa, really?
So yeah, so you can basically play the game by yourself now. And
that's cool.
It's like. This kind of sounds cool as much as it's like that's something I've harped on of why MMOs suck now. Final Fantasy 14 kind of is that game though. It's like
it gives you that choice.
Yeah, they've already gone down this path, so I don't really have a problem with them doing a feature like that because it like I can almost play it like it's a Final Fantasy game now, where I just experience the story, and that's kind of what I want to do because that game does have a good story.
Yeah, it does. It has a really good for an MMO. It has a really good story.
Yes, it does. It's like up there with like the Old Republic.
Yeah,
right. In terms of how good it is, in my opinion. So I almost kind of want to go back and play it just to play through the story, not necessarily to play it as an MMO necessarily. So that's my problem. Is like I wish they'd release a free-to-play version where you like can't play multiplayer, but you can do anything solo.
That may be down the line.
That would be cool, man.
That may be down the line. I would see Square Enix probably jumping on that, like, hey, just release a free-to-play version, or
like
whatever.
Not necessarily fully free-to-play. Like I still have to buy Shadowbringers, right? But I don't have to pay monthly.
Yeah,
that would
you can play it offline. How about that?
Yeah, that would be cool, dude. So, yeah, but we're talking about WoW Classic.
Call it WoW Classic, yeah.
But I'm worried about this game, though. I'm worried about how deep I'm going to get into it, man. Because I'm thinking about my nostalgia. I have some nostalgia goals with World of Warcraft Classic that I want to achieve. Like, I want to get to 60 for sure. I need to get a hunter to 60 for sure. And I need to be able to get that hunter to a point where it can farm a specific area in World of Warcraft Classic. That was my old farming area. It's where I made my money for the most part. I would just go there and kill mobs, and it was like it was a level 60 elite area.
Do you think you have the patience for it since you're older now?
I definitely have the patience for it. It's really whether I have the time for it. That's what I'm worried about. So those two goals need to happen because I'm going to make a priest with you guys, and that was not my main in vanilla. My main was a hunter and then a rogue. Those were my two classes. So I really want to get all three of those classes to 60, and that's a lot of time invested, man. Vanilla is like... That's no joke, dude. When I was playing, when I had no life and I could play vanilla all day, every day, it took me roughly 30 days of real time to get to 60.
Really?
Yeah. So now, imagine that now. Like, it's going to take me 3 months to get a character to 60, you know?
Yeah.
But since we're going to be grouping, it may go more quickly. That was me playing solo for the most part. Yeah. So, I don't know. So I got some goals that I want to hit. I definitely want to do that. So, I don't know. This could be an on and off game for me.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be on, because I can imagine that we're not going to be playing all the time with each other.
No.
The time.
Dude, particularly when it comes out, August 27th, like 9 days later, the Monster Hunter expansion comes out. 8 days after that is Borderlands 3.
And I'm definitely dropping WoW to play Monster
Hunter.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly, dude. So, yeah, like 8 days after Monster Hunter is Borderlands 3, which I'm definitely fucking playing on launch day. And then 6 days after Borderlands 3 is Link's Awakening remake.
Yeah.
Like... So yeah, it's like
the reason I'm scared for this game though is for a different reason. I feel like newcomers to MMOs, or people who never even experienced WoW, they're going to come to the WoW Classic because they're going to see it on, their YouTube feeds and their Twitch feeds and stuff like that. And like, okay, well, let me try it. And I think it's going to get either review bomb, like journalists who play the game, like, WoW Classic is not as good as you remember it was. Like, I feel like that's going to...
Yeah, we've talked about this. Yeah. I'm already over this whole thing. Like, I know that's coming, dude. I know that is coming. There's going to be Polygon articles, Kotaku articles. Yeah. There's going to be all sorts of articles, IGN articles. WoW Classic's not as good as you remember. All these systems they've introduced over time made the game better. Yeah. You should just play regular World of Warcraft. You know what? You go play regular World of Warcraft. I'm going to be happy. Like a pig and shit playing WoW Classic.
It was funny. I was on Twitter and I came across an ad for the Battle of Azeroth.
Yeah.
And they advertised in the game, buy a level 110
I saw
character.
This. You get a free level 120 character if you buy Battle for Azeroth. Yeah. Like, what are we doing? What kind of MMO are they making now where they're just gifting you a free max level character?
Bro, I was so upset by that. And people were like, and then someone commented under because it was an ad, and I quoted the ad. I'm like, I'm not about to buy a 100 level 10 character. And then someone quoted under like, what would you rather do then? Like, how long does it normally take? And I'm like, I don't know, because I haven't played WoW in a while, but I'm not about to...
Well... Also, my understanding is it doesn't take very long to level from 1 to 120 anymore. So it's like, these games, MMOs, I have an issue with the genre because the developers for MMOs just seem to lack creativity. And I mean this in a very specific way, not in terms of making new content, making new areas, making new classes, things like that. Really, it's the structure of the way the expansions is where they lack creativity. They don't have vision. They're not trying to innovate in the MMO space. And Final Fantasy XIV is a culprit of this as well, and a reason why I've struggled to go back to that game, because if you're going to do this all the time, all you're going to do is release a new level cap that's 10 levels that takes like 20 hours to get to, or even more than that, who knows. Multiple days of played time to get to the new level cap from the old one. Like... And then you use that level cap and you make all the old items completely useless. Like, that is boring game design. It's really punishing to your players. And it's weird that this is such a staple in the MMO genre. And I don't get it. Why can't we do something like where yes, there's a level cap raise, but it's only like 5 levels. Right? You start your game at level cap 50. Yeah. And then the first expansion is 55. And like I've talked about with Ion, you make your gear curve linear so that the level 50 items that they farmed, that they spent days and weeks of their lives farming, isn't useless at 55. It's good gear to get you started to farm the new gear.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to like go specifically farm for gear so that you can do dungeons. Like you already have that shit if you've done it in the first version of the game.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you change up the like you use the content that you've gotten or you're adding to the game as a way to expand the range of activities your players have to do, right? So that the level 50 stuff is still viable content. The level 55 stuff is still viable content. And even when you release a second expansion at level 60, that stuff is still viable content, right?
Yeah.
That should be the way you do it so that you have a huge range of activities for your players to do, not this small new piece of content that you've created for them, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what's so frustrating about MMOs, and this is a big reason why I stopped playing World of Warcraft, is that I loved vanilla. I love the dungeons in vanilla. I really like the style of the game in vanilla, and when Burning Crusade came out, all that was gone. There was no reason to ever do it again, ever, for any reason. Like, all those other instances were terrible. And Burning Crusade itself also had a good style. I love the dungeons in Burning Crusade too, like Karazhan and, you know, all that stuff, dude, like Hellfire Peninsula and all those places. And then when Wrath of the Lich King came out, it was all useless again, and you don't get to do that content, you know? It's like I never got to experience Black Temple while it was still live, you know?
Yeah.
And that's frustrating to me. So once I went through it again with Wrath, I was like, I'm over this. They're going to come out with Cataclysm, and all this shit's going to be worthless now. Like, Ice Crown's not going to be a dungeon you do anymore, you know? It's stupid.
Yeah, they still should have items, or if they do release the expansion, like, have items in the older dungeon that you need to farm and stuff like that.
But that's why WoW Classic is appealing to me, because this is going to be a perpetual server that I can come back to whenever I want, and there is no one's left me behind.
Yep.
I'll be able to come back whenever I want and continue from where I left off. There's no time limit. There's no timer.
Yep.
I don't have to rush to level cap. I don't have to rush to get all the raid gear. I don't feel like there's a timer now. And that's why this is so good. That's why this is so appealing.
Yeah.
I could be playing this for 5 years, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's just the way I look at it. So that's what's exciting about this for me, is there's no expansion on the horizon. Even if they release Burning Crusade servers, they're not going to... I don't think they're going to auto advance the current WoW Classic servers. They're probably going to let you...
a progression server.
They're going to let you transfer probably your current character to those servers if you want. So that's going to be an option, you know. So that's what I'm looking forward to most is that I can play this at my leisure, you know.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next game. Next one for me is Monster Hunter Iceborne. So what you got?
Yes, I don't have an alphabetical order, but yeah, I mean not alphabetical.
Well, I kind of have it in like chronological.
I don't have it in chronological
when
order
it's coming out.
Yeah.
So okay, Monster Hunter Iceborne. They're doing a media kind of blast for this game kind of every few weeks with a new trailer.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
There was one today where they announced Glavenus. They also announced Brachydios, which is the...
Really?
Yes.
Oh man, see, I'm been keeping myself away from this game.
Yeah, and they announced some subspecies for Monster Hunter World exclusive monsters as well.
Yeah.
For G rank. So this is a very exciting... Dude, they're adding a lot of monsters. I remember when we first started the podcast, we talked about this.
And we thought they weren't going to add that many.
We thought it was going to be like 10 to 15.
Yeah.
That was like my hope. And dude, I'm like at the point where I'm thinking like, dude, they're adding like 30, 40.
This update is huge, man.
This is like a whole new game. It's crazy. I'm really looking forward to this now.
Like you said at the beginning of the podcast, in our earlier episodes, we did say we had gripe with Monster Hunter, especially coming from Monster Hunter Double Cross or Generations Ultimate. We were just like, Generations Ultimate had all these monsters in there, and it was hard for us just to go back to Monster Hunter World. But now, Monster Hunter World, this Iceborne, they keep announcing monsters almost every week.
Yep.
Leading up to it, and we don't even know any other subspecies they may have planned.
Dude, I know, yeah. That's what's exciting about it.
Yeah, and they may release even more monsters the next year. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
because I'm thinking like G rank, right? Because dude, we've already gotten Asia Rathalos, Pink Rathian.
Yep.
I think Silver Rathian, Gold Rathalos are like guarantees. They haven't even talked about it. But those are easy for them to add, I feel like.
Yeah.
You know, those are easy ones. And that's 2 monsters right there.
It seemed like they took the team from Double Cross, because I feel like that was made by like maybe their B team or something like that. And they just put them on this team. They're like, okay.
I think they got everybody working on this.
Yeah, because they seen how lucrative it was.
Well, it makes sense too because the pricing for this, it's $39.99.
Yeah,
like it's not a cheap DLC. This is like almost like a full-fledged game.
Yeah,
in terms of its pricing.
I mean,
so
honestly, if they had a little bit more time and they did release into like 2 continents maybe or 2 land areas, I would have paid $60 for that. To be honest with you, but this one continent seems huge. Like I think they said it's one of their biggest areas in Monster Hunter. In general,
which is exciting. Dude. That's really exciting. And the new monsters, like the ones that are brand new to this expansion, dude, they look so cool. Like, did you see that like moose one? That giant
that's
moose
the
looking
one I was telling you about.
That looks so cool. I'm so excited. And the Elder Dragon, the one with the icicles on its wings, dude, that looks awesome. Like, I am really impressed with the designs that they're coming up with. Even the subspecies they showed, it's like a lightning version of the Anjanath. Looks really cool.
Yeah, he can fly, apparently, or not fly, but I saw him do like a move where he leaped across the screen. Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so dude, they seem to be really dedicated to making this really robust, and that excites me to a large degree.
But they're adding moves to each weapon type and everything of that nature.
That's awesome too. They're expanding the game, not just the monsters and the areas and stuff too. So
I mean, that was another thing we talked about. I mean, of course, we're not going to do different styles, but we were saying like, man, the gameplay can get a little bit stale just using the same move types. But now they're adding moves, so I'm definitely interested in seeing what else is to come. Like that's why I've been keeping myself dark on it, because I want to be totally surprised when I play this fucking game. Like.
I'm probably just gonna go dark now. I was like looking at it, and I was like, I saw Glavenus, and I was like, I kind of want to see what this looks like.
Well, I knew the Glavenus was coming because we heard his theme song in one of the trailers they released.
That's right.
So we knew Glavenus was coming, but
they showed him like in
I
motion.
didn't see him. I didn't see him in game.
It looks good, man. It looks really good.
Yeah, that was one of my. He's like one of my. If it was S tier and A tier, he would be like one of my A tier favorite monsters.
I really like that monster. I will say, 2 monsters I want to see.
You already know what the first one was going to be.
Yes, no, this is like an SS tier monster. Rajang. Capcom, you better put Rajang in this game. It is a perfect monster.
I think he's popular in Japan.
Dude,
I think he is.
It's a perfect monster for Monster Hunter World. Put Rajang into this game.
I want to see his turf war, man.
Dude, I want to see him. I want to see him grab a Devil Joe by the throat and just throw it across the screen. I just want to see that. It's just, oh my god, I love Rajang so much. Just go Super Saiyan and just like.
Because I think lore wise, can he beat the Devil Joe?
I think so. It's one of the most powerful monsters. Yeah. Like he's considered Elder. I think he's considered Elder Dragon status almost. Like
damn.
Like he's.
Because he almost beat the Kirin, right?
Yeah. He's a real high tier monster. Okay. Like he's pretty. I mean, Devil Joe's up there too, though.
Oh yeah,
like Devil Joe's no joke, man.
You already saw my video about Devil Joe.
My god, dude, Devil Joe's that's a fun fight.
Yeah,
but that one, and I think this one's much more of a long shot, honestly, because this was just released in Generations. But I really liked Valstrax. The jet fighter jet one, one that was the title monster for Monster Hunter Generations.
That's
Ultimate.
A stretch.
I think it's a stretch.
It could work in World,
but dude, it would work really well in World
because he flew over to this new land.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's a jet. He can probably fly anywhere.
Yeah, like story wise, they can put him in there like really easy. Like
dude, it's a really fun fight, and I think it would be a lot more fun in World.
So. I love that fight. I love him and Glavenus because your positioning matters really
so much.
Yeah.
No, so those are 2 that I really am hoping for that they haven't talked about at all. So. I know that's a long shot.
I think Rajang's not a long shot.
I don't think so either.
I think he's gonna come, but I think he's maybe gonna come like in the summertime next year. That's just my prediction.
Man,
because I can't see them not having.
I need him at launch, baby.
In there,
if he's not, and they release them in summer, I don't give a shit what I'm playing. I'm dropping it. I'm dropping it to go back to World to fight Rajang. Because, dude, love that thing, man. He's terrifying. It's just like...
Man, especially when you go Super Saiyan.
He does that mouth laser at you, and
his eyes turn red.
It's just a one-shot.
Yeah,
and there's
man.
so much power behind it, it's like, man, if you ran into one of those things in real life, just pray. Just fall on the ground and pray that it leaves you
these
alone.
monsters, to be honest with you, man. Fighting that shit in real life.
Yeah, our character's a psychopath. Like, the character we're playing, like, it's just like, man, you're fighting things that are like...
I mean, this is off topic, but that's how... I don't know how they're going to do the Monster Hunter World or the Monster Hunter movie. Like,
yeah.
I can't see it.
I think the regular humans are going to be, like, completely, like, terrified.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening here? You guys are fighting these things with swords? What? But, yeah, this is... I don't know. After that trailer today, man, I'm getting hyped, dude. I'm getting hyped.
Yeah.
Bracky on top of it, man. Like...
Man, I didn't think they were going to add him. Like, that's one monster I didn't think they were going to...
Well, so, Iceborne, right? This is taking place in an icy, snowy area, but I'm betting you there's going to be an underground, like, mountainous lava area, probably.
And he's going to be
I think a lot of the hot monsters are going to be there.
That makes sense.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I do want to see some cool ones, though, like Malfestio, like some of the smaller monsters.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Like, some of the more interesting monsters that aren't dragons.
Yeah, honestly, man, I want the whatchamacallit to make a return.
I need
the
Blaganga.
Oh, the Blaganga, yeah.
That'd be cool.
Oh, yeah, he was pretty cool. I like the Kutku. I want him to make a return, just a nice entrance into it.
Give me some baggies.
Yeah, give me some baggies, man.
Give me some baggies, man.
Give me some Genprey, some Velociprey and stuff.
Yeah, man, Velociprey. Yeah.
But yeah, Malfestio or whatever, that's how I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, I think he was a cool monster. What was that?
Mizutsune, I like that one a lot too.
Yeah.
Even though that one is a dragon, it's kind of a very different.
Yeah, that one was a really fun fight.
It's like a water-based dragon.
Yeah. Actually, I want the spider monster to come back.
Yeah, I do think that one. I think that one and Kezu are probably pretty good bets.
I love Kezu.
I think those are pretty good bets.
Yeah.
Because those are both cold monsters. Yeah. Particularly Kezu is usually a cold monster. The spider one, not as much, but I can still see that. Yeah.
I mean, I just want like a non-insectoid monster to come back.
Yeah. That would be cool. Yeah, I need less dragons.
Yeah. That was one disappointment. I'm like, oh man, I hope they add more like...
Less reptilians.
Yeah.
Give me some Kongalalas and...
Yeah.
Bolangangas, and they are adding Barioth, which is like a saber-toothed dragon.
Yeah. Oh, they are adding him?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, but he's pretty much just Tigrex, or he has the same moveset.
He's not as annoying as Tigrex.
Yeah.
Oh, the other one I want is Zinogre. I need that one.
Zinogre. Oh, the Lightning Wolf. Wolf. Isn't that your favorite
That's
one?
one of my favorites, too. Yeah, I love that monster. I really want to see that one in the game.
Yeah, they should bring him back, or them, because they had two versions of it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, one's it's kind of the same monster. One's just like supercharged.
I can see that because they already have the Tobi Kadashi.
Yes.
And they can just use that skeleton like that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a similar tail actually to that one. Actually, Odogaron does too.
Yep.
Kind of has a similar build as well. All right, let's move on to the next game. Next one I got is Borderlands 3.
Oh, before that one.
Actually, Astral Chain.
They come out the same day. Well, actually, yeah, we did skip over Astral Chain.
We skipped Astral Chain. Let's go to Astral Chain. I don't know if I'm going to play this game, but...
Man, I'm playing
the more I see it, though, the more I want to play it. Like, this game looks really cool.
What looks cool about it to you?
I think the action looks cool, but I also think the universe looks really cool. You know, just like the story, the look of the story and stuff. Because they're like bound to these like creatures.
Doesn't it remind you of Blades?
A little bit.
Blades and
yeah. It's a little bit less. I feel like it's a little bit more direct than the Blades were, because you can't really use the Blades in combat the way that they do in Astral Chain. Like Astral Chain, you're kind of fighting with the creature that you're bound to or whatever. So, but it looks cool in that regard. I just think the action, like, this is made by Platinum, right?
Yep.
I think, Platinum, dude, they just know how to make action games too, so I trust them on that front. So, I don't know. It's looking good for me. But again, it's coming out. I think it's the 30th of August.
Yeah.
So, dude, it's coming out in a rough window, man. This feels like a game I'm gonna get to like way later. You know.
I like this game because it's probably gonna be a quick play for me. Like you can get.
Could be short.
Yeah,
that's true. Could be short.
Because a lot of platinum games are really short.
Could be worth the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one is Borderlands 3.
Well, Borderlands 3 comes out the same day as the
Daemon X Machina.
So we can talk about Borderlands 3 first, though.
All right.
Since that's the bigger one.
Because you don't give a shit about it.
What? Borderlands 3?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the game.
Okay.
God.
Man,
look at this, Mr.
You just want to talk about Daemon X Machina.
Mr. Negativity over here.
No, let's talk about your game first.
No,
Daemon X Machina. Let's talk about your mech game.
No,
Come on, man. This is your mech game.
Let's talk about Borderlands. So I'm excited
Daemon
about
X Machina looks really cool. Let's talk about it.
You're an asshole. I don't look the same, man. It looks fucking cool. I love mech games. And this is probably...
This one's been in development for a while. This was announced a long time ago.
It was?
I feel like this was announced close to when the Switch was, like, launching.
I remember they released a demo last year.
Yeah.
But
I think this game's been... Like, they showed it at E3, I think, 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah. And they did, actually. And then we found out that the character designer and someone else who worked on... Fuck. What's the name of that game?
I have no idea.
Made from Software.
Oh, Armored Core?
Armored Core. They were the lead people behind this game.
Right? Because those games are pretty good.
Yes. And everyone wanted From Software to make another
Armored Core. Good luck. They're working with George R. R. Martin.
Yeah, that went out the window.
Quote, working with George R. R. Martin, end quote.
So that went out the window because they're going to keep making Soulsborne games, and that's cool because they're good, but... Yeah, a lot of mech fans are like left in the water. So I'm really excited about this game. The demo is pretty cool. From what I played, you not only customize your mech, but your pilot as well. So it's like, from what the gameplay footage they did show, you're going to be doing some missions just as a pilot.
Interesting.
So,
oh god, that's very like Star Fox
Foxy,
Assault.
yeah.
Oh no.
So I mean, but you do have upgrades to your pilot and stuff like that. So
yeah.
I don't know. It looked pretty cool.
We'll see. I expect better gameplay than Star Fox Assault.
But speaking of Star Fox, it did give me a Star Fox vibe when I was playing demo because you have 3 other mechs that's on your team. They're AI controlled and they're actually really cool. They're actually really good.
Help me!
They're
right behind me.
They actually don't. They're like, I was doing it was like a 4v4 situation, and then they killed their mechs, and they came to help me kill my mech.
Yeah. That sounds pretty dope, dude.
Yeah, man.
That reminds me of like the Star Wolf levels, except your co-pilots wouldn't kill anybody.
Yeah,
they would just yell at you that they're behind me, and you'd have to like go kill them for them. Like, it's fucking, I love you, Star Fox.
Yeah, and they if you get down, they'll revive you and stuff like that because they have a revive mechanic.
Okay.
So it looks pretty good, man.
All right. I mean, I'm genuinely interested in it as well. This game looks really interesting.
I'm glad a lot more people are interested in this game because we need to bring this genre back. I think mechs need to make a comeback.
It's been on so many Nintendo Directs at this point. I feel like it's impossible not to know about this game if you watch those. Like, you know. I'm
glad they're pushing the game, man.
Yeah, I agree. It's cool. We'll see how well it sells. But all right, we skipped another one actually. Catherine Full Body. This is a remake of Catherine.
Yeah.
This I've talked about this briefly before, but Catherine is a fantastic game. I never beat it. It's a very long game.
Yeah.
But it's a really. It was kind of the off game between Persona 4 and Persona 5 for the Persona team, and dude, this is so.
It paid off for them very well.
Oh my god, I like this game more than Persona. I'm being straight. I'm gonna be straight. I'm gonna be straight. I'm honest about it. Like, I think this game is better than Persona. Like both, any of them.
Really? Like story wise?
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is way more interesting than Persona to me. Like, I like Persona a lot. I think it's a really good series. But like, dude, this game is so cool. Like the puzzle. The puzzle elements when you're asleep, like the puzzles that you're doing, it's so cool because it's like, it's really dark stuff. Like, everybody around you is a sheep, and like, and but they're people you know in the character's life. They're other people that you know that you run into, and you're trying to climb this tower. And the game, all the music during these segments is classical music.
Really?
Yeah, no, it's like real classical music. And it's so perfect for the game. Like, it just fits the theme and the tone so well. It's so immersive. It's such an immersive experience. And there's so much weird shit in it. Like the game, like before you do every night, the game like asks you these questions. Like they're just kind of random too. It's like, what do you like better, this or this?
Yeah.
You know, it's like things like that. So it's really interesting game in that regard. And I just think the characters in the game are really interesting people. Particularly both the women that are in. I can't remember the protagonist's name. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember his name. But Vincent, I think it's Vincent.
I think it's
Vincent.
Yeah, it was a regular name. Like that.
Yeah, his fiance Catherine with a K, and then the girl he meets, Catherine with a C, are really intriguing. They're such polar opposites, dude.
Yeah.
That it's like the dynamic of Vincent interacting with both of them, and you get to make choices too. You get to talk to them and say different things to them, and that affects the outcome of the game, like what ending you get.
Okay.
And many of the things you do in the game actually affect what ending you get. I think there's like 10 or 15 endings in this
really?
game.
Wow.
Oh yeah, no, it's a ridiculously robust game too in that regard. So, man, I just wish it wasn't coming out right smack dab in the middle of like 7 other games.
Well, the good thing about it, I think you should buy it before.
Well, I'm gonna buy it because I'm afraid this is a game that's gonna be limited.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Quantities.
I think you should buy it, and you can play it like next year or something when you're like in between games and stuff like that.
But I mean, I can't say this enough. I highly recommend this game. If you like story in your video games, this is a game to pick up.
Yep.
It's very philosophical. It really presents the player with a lot of questions that are things we deal with in our everyday lives that we don't really confront very often.
Okay.
And it just kind of makes you think.
Okay.
So, definitely recommend that game.
Damn, I might play it.
Yeah, man. I know you said your girlfriend wants to play it, so you should get it. All right. We've skipped over this like 3 times. Let's get back to Borderlands 3, talk about it for 2 minutes, and move on, because Montrell doesn't want to talk about this game.
What makes you think that?
I'm just giving you shit. It's a bit. Go with it, Montrell. God. Ugh.
What makes you think that? I mean, game trash, but...
Randy Pitchford trash, okay? Don't conflate Randy Pitchford with the game, all right?
No, like I said, man, Borderlands 2... The second time I played it with you guys changed my whole viewpoint. I mean, it's kind of like the Zelda thing, right? With Breath of the Wild, where the way you play the game changes how you matter. And I started with the wrong character.
Yep.
And
I told you, man.
Yeah. And I played with another character, and I'm like, okay, like this game is like actually really fun.
Yeah, you went through the same arc I did, like because we both played the same character. We both played Zero, and he is not fun when you don't understand how the game plays, like how the game works. And Maya's just so much more like noob friendly in that regard. Like she's very simple. She's got her move is really effective. It's obvious why it's effective.
Yeah.
Like it's not something that you really need to like understand the way the numbers work with each other to use effectively. Like Zero is like you need specific gear, specific build makeups to make his action skill really, really good.
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of annoying in that regard. So 3, I mean, I don't know. We don't really need to talk about this much. I'm very excited for this game.
Bro, like the classes or the different characters
really good, man.
Look so fucking good.
Yeah, and if the game plays better than Borderlands 2, because it can. Borderlands 2 doesn't play super well. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I like playing it again with you guys. Like, the game plays all right, but your character movement feels really stiff.
Yeah.
You know, it does not feel like a 2019 shooter.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not. It's a 2012 shooter, so it's understandable in that regard. But I will say it was funny. I've been going through my stuff recently because I was doing some stuff in my room, and I was going through some old shit that I had. I had a notebook from 2013 or 2014 that I was writing notes in.
Yeah.
And I had written notes on what I think they needed to do to make Borderlands 3 good.
Yeah.
And one of the things I wrote was 1 skill per skill tree. And I was like, I looked at that. I didn't remember writing this. And I was like, damn, I was on point. I was like, man, they did exactly what I said. I also said get rid of slag, which they're doing.
Yeah.
Because that mechanic sucks. And I think one of the other things was, explore the galaxy, which they're doing.
Okay.
And then there was one other thing that I was like right on with. I can't remember what it was.
Damn, were you on the team? They come in and copyright your notes?
Dude, I was so into Borderlands 2. You don't understand. I was up that game's ass. Like, up that game's ass to a ridiculous degree. So, I don't know. I was just thinking it was funny. Like, past me was like, Just thinking pretty clearly, man. I'll show you after we're done recording. Actually,
could have been a game consultant. That's what they need to hire. They need to hire game consultants.
Dude, man, I got to get into gaming because I feel like I'd be a pretty good designer.
Yeah,
like I know what makes a game good. Like
they don't have, but see, the thing about gaming is they don't have any consulting roles. They have people who just make the games and then.
Well, they get locked in a bubble sometimes. Yeah, and they don't realize like. These things you're putting in the game aren't fun anymore.
Yeah.
Like Fallout 4 ran into that. The game was made in a bubble and unfortunately came out after the shit they put in the game. Like people don't want to deal with this anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Let's move on. Next one is also in September, Link's Awakening remake. I love Link's Awakening. I think it's a really, really great Game Boy game.
I actually didn't get a chance to play this one, so
it's really good.
This will be my first time playing it.
This will be fun. I think it's going to be a good game. It's not going to be super long. It'll give me that taste of that old school Zelda that I'm missing. It's a very weird Zelda, though.
Yeah, how's the story? It looks like a weird story.
Honestly, it's pretty basic. Link gets stranded on an island and has to get out.
Okay.
Basically. I do think Ganon makes an appearance though. Somehow I don't understand how he just follows Link around like a creeper.
Yeah.
But the gameplay is interesting because you do get the ability to jump at some point, which is not a thing that really like most Zeldas let you do back in the day. Particularly the isometric ones like this. Yeah, you do get the ability to jump, and it was a very interesting game. It's different from Link to the Past. And the older ones on the NES, like it's not, it's very distinct. It feels very distinct. It's a very good game. I'm looking forward to playing it.
People will be receptive to it.
Yes, okay. I do. I really do. I think this is a very high quality game. So, I think if they do the remake well, I think it'll be pretty well received. So,
yeah.
Next one for me, and if you have one, interject.
No, I mean, so far.
I'm putting this in here because I believe it's being released in October. Luigi's Mansion 3. It doesn't have a date yet, but it's still coming in 2019, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be in October.
I think it's going to be coming in December.
December?
Yeah.
That makes no sense. They got to line it up with Halloween, man. They got to line it up with Halloween.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
They got to line it up with Halloween.
Yeah, you're right.
I think it will be the very end of October. Last week of October, probably. This game, dude, let me tell you what. This game.
I don't want it to be like the 3DS version.
No, and it doesn't look like it is. It looks like it's like the original game, where it's like an adventure game.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want an adventure game.
Because the 3DS one was like levels.
Yeah.
There were like missions you would do, and you could only do certain parts. You could only go into certain parts of the mansion, and it was disjointed. It didn't feel super fun. Like.
You're right. It felt like a mission-based game, like almost like a Monster Hunter-esque mission-based game.
Yeah, it'd be like go into the furnace room and turn the furnace back on. It's like, I mean, sure, but I just want to walk around the mansion.
Yeah,
it's like I don't want to do these objectives you're giving me.
I don't know. The first one was so cool,
dude. It is, and I think this one is going to be much more in line with that. I want to say that the 3DS one, I think, was limited by hardware.
Okay.
I think it might have been limited in scope because of that.
Okay.
Since it was on 3DS, but I don't know. Dude, Luigi's Mansion is just such a special game, and I hope they can recapture that magic with this.
I hope the multiplayer doesn't take away from it.
You mean in terms of like them wasting time on it and not putting their full focus into the single player? Nintendo doesn't do that. I trust Nintendo.
Okay.
I really do. I think the single player will be robust.
Okay.
I think it will be fun and interesting. I mean, come on, man.
I just remember walking through the mansion in one, and he's like humming in tune, trying to calm himself down. Like,
he would like hum a tune. He'd be like, Mario. You just like say that, and like I loved the GameCube was hilarious too because this was a launch game for the GameCube, and it would zoom in whenever you open a door and show his hand turning the knob, like it was all look at these graphics, gosh, But I love the atmosphere of that game because he was like alone in the mansion, and all he had was Egad. was like the only person he was able to talk to, and that guy's like crazy.
Yeah.
So he was like, yeah, it was like, it felt very atmospheric. You could understand why Luigi was kind of scared.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it was like, man, where's Mario at? Like,
And then even when you fought the ghost, like he was scared as shit.
oh yeah, oh yeah, he's like screaming the whole time. Like, oh man.
So I hope they recapture that shit in this game.
Yeah, me too. I think they will. I think they will. It looks like they will. I do want to shout out to that booth they had at E3. Nintendo had, dude. They do some awesome shit at E3 with their booths.
I didn't even see the booth.
I saw a tour of it on YouTube, and they had a Luigi's Mansion section that was like it was literally the hotel, like the lobby of the hotel,
that's cool.
with a bunch of kiosks to play the game.
That's cool.
So it was pretty cool. Okay, next one for me is Outer Worlds.
What about FIFA, man?
You want to play FIFA?
No, I don't want to play no fucking FIFA.
You don't want to play FIFA Ultimate Team? FUT?
Nah, man. And surprise mechanics?
You don't want to be surprised when you get Lionel Messi? the good version of him? Because, yeah, that's the thing about this, right? There's, like, multiple versions of the same player.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, there's, like, a bronze tier, a silver tier, gold tier, platinum tier, and then I think there's, like, a super awesome, amazing tier.
That's okay.
Yeah. You'll get a Lionel Messi who's a 78.
Okay. Now you're making me mad. Let's move on.
Yeah. Outer Worlds.
When does that come out?
I think it's October 25th.
Oh, well, I got a couple before that.
Okay.
Yeah.
FIFA?
No. God, no. Digimon Cyber Sleuth Complete Edition.
Yep.
I think they're coming with the second one in that one as well, or some kind of DLC or some shit like that. I don't know. But I'm really looking forward to that game. It's coming on the Switch, so I can finally play it on the go.
Yep.
And that's what I always wanted to do with those Digimon games.
Uh-huh.
Another one I'm looking forward to, which you probably going to hate me for, is Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Hey, man, whatever you want to play. You want to play FIFA? You play FIFA, man.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare, I'm looking forward to that because I put a lot of time into Modern Warfare, or Call of Duty 4, which they're remastering.
Yeah.
And it's Activision, but they're like, oh, we're not going to do none of the bull crap we did with the other remakes and stuff like that. Go figure. But
yeah, you believe that?
But I'm actually interested not for the multiplayer, but the single player. The campaign was fucking amazing in Modern Warfare, or Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2, which is an extension of Call of Duty 4. The campaign and story was just really good. Mm-hmm. That team knew what their Infinity War at the time, which is Vince Zampelli's team, who is now making Apex Legends and Titanfall. Yeah. They knew how to make a solid fucking campaign. So I'm really interested.
I feel like the art of the shooter campaign has been lost.
That's why when we get a decent story in a shooter, like, people go ape shit because they don't do it anymore. That's why.
That's why Borderlands 3 is exciting, because that is a shooter.
Exactly.
That is campaign focused. Like, it's a story focused game.
Exactly. That's why people love Wolfenstein or Doom, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Because those are single player first person shooters that we're missing now.
Yeah, they've had a bit of a resurgence now that I think about it. There was like a period though, I feel like, of like 5 years.
Everything had
early
multiplayer.
This gen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like ugh. Or even last gen, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yikes.
Yeah, then we can go to Outer Worlds.
Alright. Outer Worlds, October 25th. This is probably one of the ones I'm least excited about on this entire list. I'm excited about this game, but this may be a casualty for me.
What do you mean in terms of?
In terms of time, like I don't think I'm gonna have time to play this game because if Luigi's Mansion 3 does come out at the end of October, I'm playing that over this.
Okay.
And then Death Stranding comes out, I think, like 10 days after this.
Yeah, they're in a really weird spot.
It's just so packed, dude. Oh my god. I feel like it's weird. I feel like all the games we've mentioned so far are coming out, but I almost feel like somebody's going to delay something just to get out of this crowded
Probably.
situation.
I mean, I would.
Like, who would it be, though? Maybe Jedi Fallen Order?
Yeah. I can see them trying to take that back.
Yeah, maybe even Outer Worlds itself. Could see that, too.
See, I'm excited about Outer Worlds, but the thing about Outer Worlds is it's going to be like a more clean version of Fallout. Yeah. And I like the dark humor that was in Fallout. I like
dirty grime, yeah.
I love that, and especially when New Vegas came out. They really went like left field with that, and I really loved that. And then obviously when 4 came out, they kind of like took all that back, all the progress they made back story wise. So, I mean, it looks like Outer Worlds is going to be like the new Vegas that we never got, but it's going to be like a more crisp, cleaner version of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I feel about the atmosphere, but I'll give it a try.
Me too. All right, next game is Death Stranding, which is on November 6th.
We have no choice but to be in the dark about this game.
November 8th, sorry.
November 8th? Yeah, we have no choice but to be in the dark about this game.
Hideo Kojima is so cryptic.
Yeah,
he's releasing new screenshots like every day, and they don't show anything. It's just like an open field.
Yeah,
like
I thought it was like Xenoblade Chronicles. I'm like, is this Xenoblade?
It's like the new Tales game.
Yeah,
it's like, hey man, I got an in with Namco. Like,
but I'm excited about that game because the way he just does, he's a George R.R. Martin of like video games, right? He turns not necessarily writing wise, but like. He subverts your expectations with games. Like, he turns mechanics on top of their heads. Like, this one has some kind of interesting game over mechanic and things of that nature. Like, just give y'all another example, like with Metal Gear. You had to call somebody, and they were like, look on the back of the game case, and you can see it right there. Yeah. It's like,
or the old Psycho Mantis thing where you had to, you had to do stuff with the controller. I mean, he does things, him... And Yoko Taro is much more of a recent developer
from Nier
than this. But yeah, they both do this thing where they will take things that players take for granted in a video game, like the interface, the HUD, just basic, super basic things, and they will turn those things on their head and make them part of the gameplay.
Yes.
Like part of the storyline.
Yep.
You know? And that's the kind of thing that makes them very interesting developers because they think outside the box in a way I feel like nobody else does. They try to do really interesting stuff. They challenge the player from a psychological standpoint to really like feel what's happening on the screen.
Yeah.
You know, like they want you to be immersed.
They still
in the
let
game.
you know it's a game.
Yeah.
Like, it's just hard to explain. Like, games want to immerse you in their world, and you're in their world, but the game never really acknowledges the player. Their game, you're immersed in their world, but they're still acknowledging you like, hey, you're still playing a video game. Remember that HUD? Or it's just the way they do it.
The end of Nier Automata, I'm not going to spoil it, but the end of Nier Automata, the game presents you with something that's like, it's actually really heavy. And it's such a... it was like a magical moment in a game. Like, I've not experienced anything like it. You know, I really want to deep dive on that game some point because it's just... There's just something about that game, man. Like, it presents something so mundane in such a powerful way. You know? Like, it asks you a question, and you're like... At first blush, you're like... You just brush it off, and you're like, oh, whatever. But then when you really start to think about it, it's like, huh. You know? So, that's what he and Hideo Kojima do, and that's what I'm looking forward to with this game is that. You know? Like, the story will be interesting. I'm sure the game itself will be fun. But those moments that are, like, special, you know, that really do something that no one else has done before.
And we're not over-exaggerating. Like, even, like, people in the industry are just like, these are legends to work with. Like, these are the Princes and Michael Jacksons of the video game world because what they do is so astronomical and game-changing that people can't match it.
Well, dude, you remember the moment at the end of MGS2, right? I think we've talked about this before.
With Raiden, right?
Where, everything comes apart, and Raiden realizes that he's been set up the whole time. Yeah. Everybody that's been talking to him the whole game is a fucking robot. And it's like, it's such a mind blow. Like, a lot of people, I think, have a bad reaction to this moment because they think it's like jumping the shark. But, dude, it's so psychologically mind-blowing for the character, and then the player realizes the ramifications of that happening to the character. It's like, holy shit. You know, it's like, it's just really heavy. You know, it's like, and he does that.
He was talking to an AI the entire time.
Yes.
Like, it's, spoiler alert. But he was talking to an AI the entire time.
Almost 20-year-old game. Yeah. It's fine. And then the same thing, not the same thing, but similar things happened in MGS4 too.
Yeah.
Where, you know, A lot of characters make appearances that you don't think should, or didn't really think would. And then there's just a lot of like really meta moments. Like the final boss fight is like going through the eras of video games. It's really cool stuff. Really cool. So yeah, I'm just excited from that angle. Alone. Yeah. The rest of it I'm excited about too, but Kojima always has something kind of interesting to show us. All right, moving on. Next one for me is Jedi Fallen Order, which is coming on November 15th.
Same day Pokemon Sword and Shield is coming out.
We'll talk about that too.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the game. I know I was really hard on it, but after watching it and talking to a couple people about it, they did kind of, open me up, and I'm like, okay, well, I can see why this game can be good and things of that nature. I did want a little bit more over the top, but I feel like they played it safe on all fronts just because they kind of had to.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's not a bad thing. So, that's really all I have to say about it. It looks good.
I'm looking forward to it. As I said, I'm going to ramp the difficulty up as high as I can.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm going to do, too.
And play it as hardcore as possible.
It's not a Dark Souls game, y'all.
No,
Stop
it's
comparing
not.
it to Dark Souls.
No, but it's like, that's the cool part about it for me is like, I want it to be like, I die in 2 hits, enemy dies in 2 hits.
Yeah.
Like, I want it to be like that, where I have to be like a Jedi who barely gets hit.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking forward to for that game. Okay, Pokemon. I know we've talked about this game to death. Yeah. I'm still vacillating back and forth on whether I'm excited about it or not.
I'm not going to get it first day. I'm probably going to wait.
I may as well. I think this might be another casualty for me. Because, dude, the thing is, the Gigantamaxing or whatever that they showed.
They keep announcing mechanics that make no sense. Like, why? Dynamaxing was already like, I was like, okay.
Well, yeah, but Gigantamaxing like changes the form of the Pokemon while making them super huge, and it's just Mega Evolution.
I was just about to say that.
Like, what the? It's like, it's just, they're annoying me. And the animations, I can't deny they look bad.
Yeah,
like, it's just,
I can get past that. The thing is...
I know, I can too, but...
The thing that's really heart-struck for me, right, is the world looks so fucking interesting. The character designs look so fucking good.
Yep.
Even the new Pokemon designs look really fucking good. It's just like... I feel like it's almost being wasted.
The game is the problem.
Exactly.
Like, it's so weird. It's like the game is the problem. It's unfortunate, man. It's really disappointing. So we'll see. I'm still excited about it though.
I am too.
Despite all of that, like I want to play through this.
And that's what's so weird. This is the first game, well, not the first game, but like in a while where I've been like conflicted, but still super excited because everything surrounding the game and in the game looks cool, but the actual game itself, and I'm just like, I don't like the actual combat of the game. Like,
Yeah. All right. Next one I have is not for a while, dude. March. FF7 remake. You have anything in the middle, in between there?
Yeah,
Shenmue
right.
3, Doom Eternal.
I never was a Shenmue fan.
What about Doom Eternal?
Nah, I mean I like it, but I wasn't really I couldn't play Doom because my mom won't let me.
Come on, bro. Mario Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020.
Nah,
I know you were excited about it, man.
I love the Mario games, but I'm gonna skip it.
I will say this does look like a fun game.
It's a fun party game.
Dude, if we could just actually get our friends to like do like a game night every week or two, like there's so many more games we would play. Like I feel like this is one of those games.
Yes.
Like this would be a really fun party game. I feel like. Yeah, and then there's not much in December. January looks pretty light as well.
Yeah, I don't really see anything that sticks out for me.
Yeah.
The Halo Chief Master Chief Collection comes to PC. That's cool. But that's about it.
Yeah. So, okay. Final Fantasy VII Remake. We did talk about this extensively, so I'm not going to stick on it too long.
Yeah.
But they have sold me on this game in a way that they did not in the past.
Listen, to turn our opinions on the game, we were done. Like,
I had no faith that they were going to be able to do anything interesting with this game
at all. And when I saw this game, I was blown away.
Yep.
Not by the graphics, but the combat system was fucking intuitive.
Yeah. It makes sense. It fits Final Fantasy VII.
Yes.
It integrates a lot of the features from Final Fantasy VII, but still somehow is action-based.
Exactly.
It's like they hit everything. I don't know if I want to see any more of this game.
I don't either.
I almost want to go on Blackout now.
I am on Blackout now. I'm on Blackout mode. Once I saw that battle, I was like, my everything that I was
like
worried.
It's a 10-minute battle,
bro. Once I saw it, I'm like, yeah, I'm done. Like this is all I need to see. This is it. Dude, I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, that battle was so long. Like as I said, they were cutting
parts
out of it because the battle was too long for E3 presentation. I'm like, this is what I'm looking for, and this works for Final Fantasy VII. It shouldn't be fast.
Yes.
Like it shouldn't be like Bayonetta or you know, Metal Gear Revengeance or something like that.
Final Fantasy 15.
Or yeah. It shouldn't be like that. It should be slower. It should be more tactical. And then that's what it looks like they're doing. So I gotta give them props, man.
Man, March is a really crazy month.
Dude. Oh my God. Well, same month. Let's go to the next one.
For me, it's gonna be Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs.
I'm actually sold on the game. I don't know how they're gonna do that whole every NPC has its own cutscene type deal, but just look at the gameplay of it.
Yeah.
It looks. And what you can do with the different means you get, it looks really fucking cool.
I don't have it on my list, but it's one. Honestly, it should be on my honorable mentions. I'm gonna write it in now, even though nobody cares. I might use this as like a game buy list later on.
Yeah.
But no, this game did intrigue me. I was actually impressed by what they showed, and what they've talked about more is that the different characters when they die, like they're gone.
Yeah, they're
like,
permadeath.
Yeah, it's permadeath. They have different scripts for like every character, which I don't understand how they manage this.
I don't either.
It's a lot of work, dude. Like that's impressive though. I think appreciate the ambition.
Maybe got some algorithm of words they can put together or something.
They did say that a lot of the actors are doing the same, like doing different characters. They're just using like voice modulation to kind of change the way they sound, so it doesn't sound like them.
Because they do have AI now that can manipulate voice, and you can just plug in the word, and the AI would say it how the actor would say it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So I'm interested in seeing how they're going to do it. But not only that, but the gameplay looks like John Wick-esque. Like, look, it flows really well.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Okay. What about Animal Crossing? You
No.
into that? No? Okay, good. All right, Cyberpunk 2077.
I don't know how much did we dive on this in the previous podcast.
We haven't talked that much about it.
Okay.
I think out of every game on this list,
this is your most anticipated one?
This is my most anticipated game.
This is like my second or third, but I am very excited about it.
I just think, I know the game is getting a lot of hype. I'm usually anti-hype.
Yep.
And I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is going to be the best game ever made. It's not. Probably not. But CD Projekt Red, they deliver. They always have. And I see no reason to believe they're not going to with this game. They've been working on it for 5 years, over 5 years.
Yep.
They have a lot of effort into this game. They're not really working on anything else, despite that story that came out this past week saying they had 3 games in development or whatever.
They probably got 3 games planned.
This is the game they've been focused on for a while, and I am very, very, very confident that this game is going to be nothing less than fantastic. Yeah,
I've been waiting for a Cyberpunk game. I know a lot of people point to Deus Ex and things of that nature, but it's not the Cyberpunk game that I want. I want that like 80s kind of feel.
Dirtier.
Yeah.
So this game is going to be, I think, what Deus Ex almost wishes it was.
Okay.
Where I think it's going to be way bigger than any Deus Ex game in terms of content, like amount of content in the game, like quests and areas and landmass and things like that.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be way bigger of a game than any of the Deus Ex games. Deus Ex 2, like Mankind Divided, is an amazing game.
Yeah. Don't
get me wrong, but it's probably a 40-hour experience to do everything.
Yeah.
I think Cyberpunk is going to be way larger than that. And I also think the execution is going to be better because Deus Ex has some issues with frame rate, and it's kind of a buggy game sometimes. Yeah. I don't expect any of that with this game. So, I don't know, maybe my expectations are too high, but after what they did with The Witcher 3, this studio's like, I know we've heard a lot of stories of them overworking people, treating people poorly and stuff like that, but they still seem to get the job done despite all that stuff. This isn't like BioWare. Like, they just seem... I mean, The Witcher 3 is an impeccable video game.
Yeah.
I am still blown away by it to this day because no one's really eclipsed it in terms of scope. Like the size of that game,
still getting remade to this day is crazy.
The size of that game, the amount of content in it, and the consistency of the quality of that content, the high bar that it hits constantly is incredible. Yep. I don't understand how they made that game. Like, I still can't understand how they made that game.
Time, you know why you can't? Because game developers don't put time and effort into their games anymore like that.
Well, dude, I just don't believe developers can make a game like that in 4 years because they can't. Nobody does. Dude, you give BioWare 7 years and they poop out Anthem. Like, that's why I have so much confidence in these guys, that they made a game like that in 4 or 5 years, you know?
Yeah, I mean, this game, like I said, I've been waiting for a game since, like, text-based games that I used to play when I was younger.
Yeah.
No game, absolutely no game has come close to, like, getting that Knight Rider, even though Knight Rider's not cyberpunk, but, like, that 80s Blade Runner feel that I wanted from a video game. Because I always thought, like, yo, this is, like, the coolest theme. How come no one's...
It is a really cool theme.
Yeah, like no one's ever done it before. Or they do it, but they do it in a way where they don't want to go all the way gritty with it.
Yeah.
And to me, just looking at this game and looking at gameplay footage, they go there. They go dirty with it. Like, they're not afraid to
They're going to explore some dark themes, I think. And that's what this game needs to do. It needs to go to really dark places. It needs to challenge your psychology, what you believe in. I think that's the kind of game it needs to be, and I think it's going to be. They do that. I mean, dude, they do that in The Witcher, you know? Yeah. It's like... So, I don't know. It's like, I think this game is just like...
I mean, that's why I like The Witcher, right? Because it's a medieval, well, not a medieval, but a fantasy game set in that time period. But it's like, it's not what you think. Like, your hero's not a hero of light. He's like a dude just trying to get a contract. And
he's literally just trying to make some money. And he's like, man, just give me the silver. Like, it's like,
Shut the fuck up.
I killed the monster. Give me the silver, dude. Like,
I don't care about...
I don't care about your life story.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Peace. Like,
I cheated on my wife. Okay, what do you want me to do?
Like, whatever. That's great. Is there another monster for me to kill?
Yeah, man. It's so cool.
Yeah, so they do a really good job with storytelling, too, and that's another part of it that I think is really important for this game. I think this game needs to have a cool story, and they just seem... I think they're dedicated to it, though. Like, them putting Keanu Reeves in, obviously, is like a Flash kind of... You know, oh my God, Keanu Reeves is in the game. But I think that's like a really deliberate thing. They want him to play a very specific role in the game, I feel like. And I think it's going to work really well. So, all right. Next one for me, it doesn't actually have a release date. It's just kind of a spring 2020 game. I could see this getting delayed, but Dying Light 2.
Okay.
Dying Light was a huge surprise game for me. I enjoyed that game way more than I thought I would.
I played it with people, like multiplayer. With other people,
I did too.
And I was like, whoa, this game's pretty fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So Dying Light 2, I think, is also going to be a lot of fun. I will say I've gotten a little de-hyped on the game. Their trailers lately have been kind of bad. Like, the one at E3 was really bad.
I don't know what's wrong with Square.
Yeah, it was a weird trailer. It didn't really show anything. It was like...
I don't think they know... I think they're under the impression that we were kind of like, they're like, oh, this game's kind of low key, but a lot of people did like this game.
Got a cult following, man.
Yeah,
Techland was making DLC for this game like a year or two ago.
Yeah,
and the game came out in like 2015, like the beginning of 2015.
Yeah,
so that game had a really long tail, I think, and so I don't know. It's like this game's still nebulous. I could see it being delayed further.
Yeah,
for them to get it right. I will say I do have faith in them that they're going to get this right. Like, I think this game is going to be good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't anticipate this game being a bad game.
Yeah.
But all right. Do you have any other ones? I have 3 more.
Phantasy Star
Online 2. That's one of mine.
Yeah. And I think that's all I have.
I don't have much to say about this. Honestly, this is going to be one that I'm going to play for like a month probably and dip out.
It's going to be such a good month.
But it's going to be a fun month, right? Yeah, dude. Like, I don't know. It's like, we'll see. We'll see on that one. It's a free-to-play Japanese MMO. It's very grindy. It's really zany and weird.
Yep.
It reminds me a lot of Star Ocean.
Yeah.
In terms of the design of the characters and the aesthetic of the world and kind of what's happening in the game.
I wonder if they had the same designers at one point.
I imagine they do. Probably have some crossover there. But it's a interesting game. I don't know. I would like to play it on console, but I don't know if I want to play it on Xbox. So
Well, you have one now, so
I know, but
try to give it a try.
I'd have to get Xbox Live though.
Get it for like $1 right now.
I don't want to do it. Yeah, it's for like a month though.
Oh yeah, they probably have another sale.
Ugh,
They always doing deals.
whatever. All right.
I'm looking forward to Trials of Mana.
Yeah, that's early next year.
Yeah, they're remaking that game, so the combat looks really dope to me. And I really can't wait for it. So,
Tales of Arise.
yeah, that's
That's a nebulous 2020 game. I don't know.
Tales games usually come out around October-ish. That's that fall winter lineup because Mysteria came out around that time.
No, Berseria actually was January.
Oh no, yeah, well, fall winter time. So I think it's gonna come out like. But Mysteria came out in October, I believe.
I don't remember. I bought that at launch, so it's kind of sad that I don't remember. I could see this being a summer game though. 2020 summer, like July, August.
It looks pretty cool though. Just a little.
I mean, dude, the graphics look. Man, they really changed the art style in a good way.
It looks like they changed the combat up too.
Yeah, in a good way.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I want to see more. I'm not going on blackout on this one yet. I'm not sold on it yet. I need to see
some more stuff on it.
I want to see a deep dive on the combat.
Yep.
Honestly, I don't need to see any more story. I really don't care about that. Like, Tales games story is hit or miss generally, so it will be. The gameplay is really what sells me on those games. So, last one for me is The Last of Us 2. Which I believe, it doesn't have a date yet. It got pushed to 2020. I think it's coming in February.
Yeah, it's not really any competition in February.
No, there's not much right now. And even if there is, I really don't think they have anything to worry about. None of these games that are on this list right now are going to hurt them.
I'm going to be honest, like, I got into Last of Us late, and I'm not really too hyped. I beat the game.
Yeah.
And it was a good game. Story was, rather. Hopefully they fix the actual gameplay because the gameplay wasn't like all that for me. It was cool. It was a standard third-person shooter.
It's good.
Yeah.
It looks like they're doing a lot of dynamic stuff with this game, though.
Yeah.
Really interesting stuff with the way the game plays.
Yeah.
Like, the AI is going to be interesting. It seems like they've done a lot of work of trying to make the game feel different for everybody that plays it.
Okay.
Like, the same things don't necessarily happen every single time you play it.
All right.
You know, you can kind of go through the same section of levels differently, sort of like Deus Ex, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm more excited about the gameplay. Has never been the star though of this. Yeah,
you're right.
Their games, like,
you're really right about that.
I think particularly Last of Us. Like, I think the story is where it's at with this game, and that's what I'm excited about. Like, I think Ellie is a fantastic character.
Yep.
And she is fantastically played by Ashley Johnson. And I also think Joel is a really good character as well.
Is he still in this one?
He is.
Okay.
We don't know the extent, like whether he's, because there's a bit of a time skip between the first game and this one, and we don't know if he's dead or he's gone.
Okay.
Like, all we've really seen him in so far is flashbacks. So I don't know if he's really in the game or not, or how much he's in the game. But regardless, he's a good character, and the decision he made at the end of the first game was heavy, man.
Yeah.
Like, he made a heavy choice, and that was a really surprising thing that happened at the end of that game. And I had to give Naughty Dog props. They had some balls doing that, man. Like, that was interesting. So I think this series, like, they are into doing shocking things with it, and I think that's good for the game. So I'm excited about it. This is a day one purchase for me, for sure.
My last one I'm looking forward to is Ghost of Tsushima. I know they.
I don't think we're getting that till later in the year, but
later in 2020. But I am looking forward to it.
Oh, for sure, me too, man.
Yeah,
dude,
that game looks really cool.
Kind of looks like their take on, like, Dark Souls, sort of, in like
an actual medieval Japan, Japan time.
in feudal Japan.
Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna play a lot like Dark Souls, but it kind of has that style to it.
Yeah,
like that, the way the character moves and the enemies attack and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But okay. I have a list of honorable mentions. Do you have any?
No, I think we mentioned my honorable mention. Oh, actually, 12 Minutes and The Surge.
Yeah, for me, Crosscode on Switch, which it's a game that came out last year. It is a 2D sprite-based game that you're playing a person, like a human, who the character you're playing though is their character in an MMO, like a video game.
Yeah.
And you play through you play as their character within the MMO, and you get to interact with their friends and stuff like that. Yep. And it's kind of interesting. The game looks really cool. It's been confirmed for 2019 for Switch, but no date yet. I'm really looking forward to that game whenever that comes out. Like you said, 12 minutes. I think this game is going to be really, really, really fantastic.
I think this is going to be a sleeper hit.
Dude, seriously. I think this game is going to really surprise people, and the fact that it didn't get any buzz after its trailer at E3, people weren't paying attention, in my opinion. Because, this game, like, honestly, I have it as honorable mention. The only reason I have it here is because we have no idea when it's coming out.
Yeah.
But, like, in terms of games I'm excited about, like, it's just pretty high on the list, man. Like, because this is going to be a short game.
What's funny is I saw a lot of non-gamers talking about this game. Like, people who normally don't play games are like, hey, I might actually play that 12 minutes.
Because it doesn't look like a video game.
Yeah.
The way it's presented, you know? It's almost like a choose-your-own-adventure story kind of thing. So, yeah. Big ups on that game. Looking forward to that. Warcraft 3 Reforged. That was announced last year at BlizzCon for 2019, but we've heard nothing in terms of release date information from Blizzard. So I am wondering if that's going to get pushed to early next year. But if it doesn't, whatever the case, whenever it comes out, I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to play this. I'm very excited about this. I think they're doing the right things with it, and I love Warcraft 3, so it doesn't matter. I'm probably gonna play it whether it's good or bad. Ori and the Will of the Wisps. This one, I don't know if I'm gonna have time for this one, but this game looked really good at E3. Like the trailer they showed looked really, really cool.
Yeah.
This game, I wanted to play the first one, but never got around to it because it's only on PC. That was the only way I could play it. So, but this is one that's on my radar, and then and I put Watch Dogs Legion. I wrote Watch Dogs Legion.
Oh, you did
during the show.
Okay.
During the show, so it's in there. It's in there somewhere. But that is it. That's what we're excited about. Note that Avengers isn't on this list.
Yeah, even though I saw that leaked gameplay footage, I'm still like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Whatever. I'm over it. That E3 presentation was terrible, so I could care less. It's so far away, too, like, compared to all these other games. Like, I'm just like, we'll see where we're at May 2020.
Damn, it's in May? Fuck.
Yeah, it's May 15th, 2020. So, okay, that's it. That's it, guys. We are finished. Those are the games we're looking forward to in the next 9 to 10-ish months. We have done it, Montrell. We've done it.
What have we done?
We're under an hour 30.
Oh shit!
We achieved.
Well, you better shut
we
up.
achieved it. I need to finish. I need to do the outro. I got to do the outro before we get to 1:30. All right, everybody. If you enjoyed this episode, please like the show wherever you're listening to it. Review the show. Subscribe to the show on the feed you're listening to it on, and share it with your friends. We really appreciate that. If you want to talk to us on Twitter, Montrell is at iTrap4TheHokage. That is the number 4, not the word. I am at ThunderNut01. The show is at The Players Take. If you want to send us questions, you can do that on Twitter, or you can send it to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. That is it. Like we said, next week's going to be another one of these. No idea what topic we're going to do.
Yep.
We'll figure it out. If you like this, you want more of it, let us know. That would be great. Otherwise, I think we're done, man.
All right.
Right? Man, we clocked in at 122. It's going to be 123 by the time I'm done with this. But, yeah.
All right. See you guys later.
We did it. We did it, baby. We did it.